heights, I flip the lights and start my day. There are heights and less steps and bills to pay. In the heights, I can't survive without cafe. Search cafe.
Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review the new musical movie, In the Heights, which was created by the very talented Manuel-Miranda, who also created Hamilton. The movie version, which I'm reviewing today, is directed by John M. Chu, who actually directed the film Crazy Rich Asians. So, In the Heights, this is a new musical film, and basically the story is as follows. A film version of the Broadway musical in which Yusnavi, a sympathetic New York bodega owner, saves every penny every day as he imagines and sings about a better life. Adding to that, it actually is also about all these characters, specifically the main ones being Yusnavi, Benny, Vanessa, Nina, Sonny, and you know, about how they deal with money and how they deal with Washington Heights, the place they're living in, and the fact that everyone's struggling through a hard time. And it's about life, really. It's a kind of feel-good musical about life. Okay, so In the Heights. I'd never really seen anything about this before. Like, I hadn't seen the show. I didn't know anything about the movie until the trailers were advertised. And I thought, okay, Lin-Manuel-Miranda. I kind of like the guy. I think I'll give this a shot. Admittedly, I've only seen the first half of Hamilton. I watched the first half of it on Disney+. So I need to go back and watch the second half. The sort of style of music that features in this film, as well as in the show of Hamilton. Oh, by the way, Hamilton is not a film; it's just the recorded stage show on Disney+. But as for In the Heights, it's a similar type of music with the kind of rapping and everything. But there's definitely more of a kind of Hispanic feel to it. Like there's sort of a Puerto Rican feel. Most of the characters are kind of Latino, you know. So there is that different kind of element to In the Heights rather than Hamilton. But what did I make of it? Well, overall, it was quite a lot to take in, actually, because it was quite a spectacle, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I really liked it. I was thoroughly entertained when I was watching it. I thought, okay, wow, this would be fantastic on a stage. As a film, yeah, it was good. I don't think it's quite as good as everyone is saying it is, but I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, but I do have some issues with it. First of all, let's start where it starts. That runtime. I really don't think that this movie needed to be 2.5 hours long. It is too long. For me, there were sections of this movie which did feel unnecessary. I felt like there were some musical numbers that didn't really add to the story. I mean, I was following the story and I could kind of see where it was going, but I don't think this movie has enough of a story to warrant a 2.5 hour runtime. I think you could have done this in 2 hours and it would have been much slicker, much better paced. It does tend to drag quite a bit in the middle for me. Like, obviously, the songs are there to tell a story, and obviously each character sort of has their own song individually. I mean, Yusnavi, who's the central character that we follow, he obviously takes most of the lead on this, but we do occasionally cut back between characters like Benny and, you know, Vanessa and Nina, and it's kind of nice to see their stories as well, and how it all kind of coincides, and how everybody feels like a community. There's this one character called Abuela, who's like an old woman. She's kind of like the mother figure to all of them. And she brings all these people together, and they are a community, and they go to her apartment for parties and everything, and that's how the characters all know each other. They know each other through her, and she doesn't have her own kids, so that was kind of a nice touch. The camaraderie in this film is really great, and you can see the relationships with the characters as a community. There are several songs which are which definitely feel like, you know, there's a real communal spirit. Everybody is involved. Everybody is in the same situation, and the the effects of the blackout affect everyone. Like, the story is interesting. You know, it's not, I wouldn't say the story is much more than a thin narrative, but it's a thin but poignant narrative. It does have some poignancy. You do understand from an emotional perspective where all these characters are coming from, and you feel for their struggles. You really do, because God knows everybody struggled with money and and you know, and whatever. And I think that, you know, the story will resonate with a lot of people, and I think that on an emotional level, it does work. It more or less works. When the movie tries to be sad, sometimes it can feel jarring tonally. I feel like, because a lot of the songs are all very upbeat and, you know, happy clappy, singing, dancing, everyone's together. There are very rarely any songs that are sad. There's one particular song which is quite sad, but I'm not going to say what it is. There were a few times when I felt, hang on, this feels kind of strange. I don't know if I buy the shift in tones. But that's only a minor complaint, because at the end of the day, this movie's a musical, and everybody is going to be entertained watching this. It's a movie that is there to look great, and it's there to be entertaining, and it does that. Like I said, it's about the spectacle, and the spectacle is amazing. The choreography is fantastic. It just looks so cool, so slick. Everybody's always doing something. There's a lot to fill in the frame, and I think the cameraman had a hard job trying to capture everything. But they did a really good job, and it's well staged, it's well choreographed. Some of the green screen shots look a bit obvious. There's one particular song which was towards the end of the film, which I thought I actually would have rather they cut that out, because I think that it's maybe just one song too many, because I kind of get the story by that point. Like, you know, Nina and Benny were kind of moving on with their lives and looking at the block, and then they go into this random song where they're climbing up walls and singing this I guess it's kind of a love song, really. And I just didn't really buy the visual effects when they were running on the roofs and the side of the wall. Yeah, I thought that was a bit cheesy, to be honest. And actually, Manuel-Miranda is in the movie. He has a small part as well, and he does a bit of singing. And the singing is very good. Everyone's vocally very excellent. The number by the pool is actually quite fun. I quite enjoyed that. And it actually reminded me a lot of High School Musical 2. When I was younger, my sister and I used to watch those movies on the Disney Channel, and there was a number where Ashley Tisdale sings a song called Fabulous. The setting reminded me of that, but this song was much better than that, obviously. And I really like the characters of the movie, because they're just real people, you know, they're not trying to be obnoxious or anything like that. They actually are quite nice people. I like the character of Usnavi. I think he's a nice guy. He's a decent bloke, and he's just doing what he can to survive. And he actually acts as a bit of a parental figure to his cousin, Sonny, whose dad doesn't seem to give a shit about him. Sonny's kind of cool. He's a little character who's like a bit younger. He's like a teenager. He's in school, and he's also working, and he's trying to build a better life for himself. He wants to go to college, and he wants to further his career, but he's struggling to do that. Vanessa wants to leave the town and wants to find a new place somewhere else, but she's conflicted about it because, one, she's struggling with the money, but also she is falling in love with Usnavi. There's a bit of a love story going on. There's actually like 2 love stories that go on. There's also Nina and Benny. Benny is like I guess he works for like a radio station or something. We're introduced to him singing on the radio, and that guy who plays Benny has got a fantastic voice. He's a really good singer. Nina's story was the one I actually cared about quite a lot. They actually focused quite a lot on Nina, how she had a very good relationship with her father, and she was going to go to college, and then she decided to pull out to help her father because he was struggling financially. So the theme of this story is everybody dealing with money. That's kind of the theme. It's a community of people who are struggling with money, but they have each other. So I like the ideas of the story, and I think it works well. I just don't think there's enough meat for it to be a 2.5-hour runtime. And I understand that obviously in the theatre this would be fine, because you know the theatre is a better place for spectacle in terms of what this movie offers. And I think that, you know, runtime is not so much of a thing in the theatre because there's always an intermission. So a theatre, on average, a show in the theatre is usually about 2.5 to 3 hours anyway. But for a movie, it runs continuously. It doesn't have an intermission. Well, not anymore. I think the movie's very well directed, and I think most of the time the emotional beats do here. And this is definitely a movie that is going to be a crowd pleaser. It is going to please a lot of people, especially people who are fans of Lin-Manuel and the show as it was originally. Me personally, I liked it enough. I thought it was a pretty solid film. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the story. It's a feel-good movie with some emotional beats. I just felt that there was a couple of odd shifts in tone, a little bit of dodgy CGI, and it was too long. Other than that, I think In the Heights is definitely worthy of getting a score of 8 out of 10.
In the heights, I flip the lights and start my day. There are heights and endless steps and bills to pay. In the heights, I can't survive without cafe. I search cafe. But tonight seems like a million years.
I know that there are people that are probably going to rate it higher than that, and that's fine. And as for the music, I didn't talk about the music. The music is really, really good. It doesn't really appeal to me that sort of like American rap stuff, that doesn't appeal to me as much, but I actually did think it was well done. To the movie's credit, it knows what it is, and it knows the type of music it wants to be, and it does a good job at getting that across. And I think it actually works more appropriately here than it does in Hamilton. Sue me. But that being said, maybe I'll talk about Hamilton. Maybe I will if I watch the second half of it on Disney Plus, perhaps. I haven't decided yet. I'll think about that. But yeah, that's my review of In the Heights. What do you think of this movie? Please comment down below. Let me know, and hit that subscribe button if you would like to see more content like this. And stay tuned next time for more reviews. So until then, I'm Mr. Tarlis11. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.